In a quiet valley in southern England, long before the word dinosaur was ever whispered, a farmer's spade struck something ancient. The earth gave way to a bone, vast, heavy, smooth as stone, yet clearly alive once. He lifted it with trembling hands, brushing away the soil as a strange chill filled the air. Word spread through the village like smoke. Men gathered around the artifact, their torches flickering in the dusk, faces half lit by wonder and fear. Some said it belonged to a giant, one of the fallen from sacred texts. Others murmured that it was the mark of something older, something not meant for human eyes. The village priest inspected it beneath candlelight, his breath catching as he whispered a prayer. To him, it was a sign, proof that the legends were true, that great beings had once walked the earth before the flood. The townsfolk nodded as the bone cast long shadows against the stone walls. Night fell. The bone remained on the table, silent, gleaming, while the wind outside carried the faint scent of rain and earth. No one yet knew that this fragment, this ghost of a creature, would become a clue to a forgotten world, a world buried beneath time itself. For centuries, humans unearthed bones too large to comprehend. Long before science had a language for them, they became stories, and stories became belief. In ancient China, such relics were called dragon bones. They were ground into powders, mixed with herbs, swallowed as medicine. To those who held them, they carried the essence of power, the breath of the dragon itself. In the sunlit plains of Greece, shepherds found curved fossils and imagined they were the remains of fallen heroes, the Titans. Philosophers debated whether these were remnants of gods who once fought Olympus. And in medieval Europe, monks recorded sightings of monstrous bones pulled from riverbanks and cliffs. They spoke of creatures lost in Noah's flood, the forgotten beasts that could not fit upon the ark. Every continent had its own story, its own truth, but across all those tales, a single question lingered, whispering silent as the dust that clung to the relics. If these bones weren't dragons, nor giants, nor myths, then what kind of beings had once ruled the earth? The question echoed through centuries, waiting patiently for an answer that no one yet knew how to find. The turning point came quietly, not with fanfare, but with curiosity. In 1677, an English naturalist named Robert Plot uncovered an enormous thigh bone in Oxfordshire. He studied it carefully, drawing every curve, every ridge. Yet the only explanation his mind could hold was that it belonged to a giant man, a remnant of ancient biblical beings. Decades passed, the Enlightenment dawned, and with it came new ways of seeing. By the early 1800s, a clergyman named William Buckland began to piece together something extraordinary. He compared fossils, sketched them by candlelight, and realized these bones did not match any creature known to man. He called his find Megalosaurus, the first creature we would come to know as a dinosaur. A revolution began. Scientists across Europe and America raced to uncover the ancient world hidden in stone. They unearthed spines the size of trees, skulls like fortresses, footprints frozen in rock. And in 1842, Richard Owen gave these beings a name worthy of their scale: Dinosauria, meaning terrible lizards. But even as they reconstructed these giants in marble halls, they misunderstood their shapes, standing them tall, dragon-like, regal. Visitors flooded museums, faces lit by gaslight, staring in awe and terror. For the first time, humanity looked into the mirror of deep time and saw a world that had existed long before its own. Awe gave way to silence, and in that silence grew a new kind of humility. The realization that we were not the beginning, nor the end of Earth's story. But perhaps this revelation wasn't new at all. Perhaps, long before Buckland or Owen, humans had already glimpsed the truth and turned it into myth. Across cultures and millennia, stories told of serpents that swallowed the sun, thunder lizards that shook the earth, dragons that ruled the mountains. In Mongolia's vast deserts, nomads found fossilized nests, eggs hard as stone, and spoke of thunder dragons guarding the sands. In Greece, near fossil beds in Crete, tales arose of titans buried beneath mountains by jealous gods. And in the markets of China, the bones of long-dead creatures were sold as relics of power, the very fossils of dinosaurs themselves. Could it be that myths were not inventions of fantasy, but memories, half-remembered echoes of an ancient truth? Perhaps our ancestors didn't misinterpret what they saw. Perhaps they simply gave it the language they knew. The dragon, the serpent, the giant, all faces of the same forgotten history. All from a time when the earth belonged to creatures we could scarcely imagine. The stories outlasted the names, and when science finally caught up, it did not replace the myths. It revealed what they had been trying to say all along. Now we see dinosaurs not as monsters, but as memories written in stone. They are the Earth's storytellers, silent, patient, eternal. They remind us that the world we walk upon has been many worlds before. They rose, ruled, and vanished, and in their vanishing made space for us. Yet their story never truly ended. It lives in every bird's shadow, every fossil's touch, every heartbeat that dares to wonder where it came from. The real miracle is not that we found their bones, but that we could recognize their meaning, that we could look at a fragment of stone and see an entire vanished world. Perhaps the true discovery did not happen in 1824, nor in a grand museum, but in the quiet moments when a farmer, a monk, or a wandering child held a strange bone and felt, deep within, that it belonged to something far greater than themselves. As the light fades over the hills and time folds upon itself once more, we are left with a simple truth, that to uncover the past is to uncover ourselves. And somewhere, beneath the dust and silence, the bones still wait for the next pair of hands to find them.